so this is when a problem gives a point x, y, and the rate of change, which is m. In these, it is going to matter which is our x and which is our y, so we do have to be a little bit careful there. So when I look at problem 9, it says, at Eagle Bay, it costs $12 per hour to rent a canoe. Nate and his friends rented a canoe for 4 hours and paid $68. So, what is my slope here, my rate of change? Something that's happening over and over again. $12. Big clue, when you see that per, that tells me it's our slope. So the per rate of change, you have a slope there. Then, when we look at our ordered pair, in 4 hours we paid $68. So what would my point be? We need x and y, so we have the 4 and the 68. So we just have to make sure we put them in the right order. Big thing to think about, when you do slope, the y's are on top. When I look at my units, this was y per x, so dollars per hour. So dollars has to be my y, x has to be my hours. So we know in 4 hours, the cost was $68. Now we have a point and a slope. So now we do the point slope formula. Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. So y minus 68 equals 12x minus 48. Add over the 68. So y equals 12x plus 20. That is our equation. All right, then we can answer the second part. We want the cost to rent the canoe for 7 hours. So look back at my other point. Was hours my x or my y? X. So I'm saying my x is 7. So if I plug that in, times 7, 84 plus 20. And y is 104. What would the label be on that?
$4.
Was my cost. So when I look back at this slope, it was dollars per hour. It's always y per x. So my y was dollars, my x is hours. Knowing which variable is which will help you. That is probably the biggest mistake I'm seeing on these problems, is that when people go to plug in, they don't know if they're plugging their number in for x or for y. So if we stop and think about our slope, the y per x, we can kind of get it from there. So let's look at another one. A construction company charges $18 per hour. As soon as I see that per, what does this represent? M. So our M is 18. If I see dollars per hour, that means it's y. So my y is dollars, my x is my hours. Okay, so they charge $18 per hour for debris removal plus a one-time fee for the use of the dumpster. The total fee for 8 hours of service was $219. So those two numbers go together. My hours is my x, so 8 hours, x is 8. The cost of that is my y, that was $2.19. So now we can write our equation. Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. So y minus 219 equals 18x minus 44. Add over the 219. And we get 18x plus 75. That's my equation. Now we have to answer the second part. Find the one-time fee for the trash dumpster. So, in this, we paid the dollars per hour, that was the slope, that was my 18, and we had a fee that we paid a single time. Can you look at this equation and tell me what the one-time fee was? $75. It's our beginning amount. So it's just the y-intercept. So one-time fee, remember those first equations, we were given the slope and the y-intercept in the problem, and we would ask ourselves, okay, which one of these happens once? That's my y-intercept. So my one-time fee here is my 75. All right, questions on that one? I want you guys to try to do the next one. So let's see how we're doing with it. So a company offers premium cable for $39.95 per month. When we see per, that tells us it is our slope. Okay, if you are struggling with x and y, and I noticed a couple of you did have it flipped. Think about when you do slope. Y is on top. Look at your labels. The first label is dollars, so that would be the top. That's my y. My last label, that's the bottom, so the x is my month. Plus a one-time setup fee. The total cost for setup and 6 months of service is $264.70. So those numbers go together as an or a pair. My x is my month, so 6 months is $264.70. So now my equation, y minus y sub 1 equals m times x minus x sub 1. Okay, so we distribute the $39.95. Add over your $264.70. And so your final equation is y equals 39.95x plus 25. Did we get that? Well, if you didn't, have you figured out where your mistake was and fixed it? So then the second part says, find the total cost for 2 years of service. All right, we have to be careful. What did I say the x represented? Months. So 2 years is how many months? 24. 12 months in a year. So in 2 years, that would be 24 months. So I'm plugging in a 24. $1.25 with it, I get 93.8. So in terms of money, that 2 years costs $983.80. So you have to be careful and watch your units, because the number I gave you, originally my units were in months. So when I said 2 years, we had to change that into months before we could plug in. All right, let's look at one more like this. So number 12. A home security company provides security systems for $5 per week. So what do I know right now? M is 5. Okay, can you tell me what X and Y are in this problem? So this was dollars per week, so my X is the week, my Y is my dollars. So the total fee for 12 weeks, so when my X is 12, my dollar amount was $210. So our equation, Y minus Y sub 1 equals M times X minus X sub 1. Distribute, so we get 5x minus 60. Add the 210, so y equals 5x plus 150. Now we go back and we answer the question. So write and solve a linear equation to find the cost of the installation fee. Can you just look at the equation and tell me the cost of the installation fee?
Yes.
What would it be?
150.
150. If you didn't know that, another way to think about it, if we're just finding how much money we paid to get them there, how many weeks have we had service? Not yet. That's how much for this order pair. But if I only want the cost to set it up, have we had service yet?
No.
So it's kind of like saying when X is 0 is another way of thinking about it. Or you could realize installation fee is our one-time thing. So either way, even if you plug in the 0, we get the same thing. So $150 is our installation fee. All right,